Hey everybody, welcome to the Addiction Unlimited podcast, where you get to learn everything you want to know about addiction and recovery. I'm your host, Angela Pugh, co-founder of Kansas City Recovery, life coach, and recovering alcoholic. To learn more about me, you can listen to episode 0 on your podcast app or find us on the web at addictionunlimited.com. Hello, my friends. Welcome to episode number 77 of the Addiction Unlimited podcast. I'm your coach, Angela Pugh. Thank you for hanging out with me today. We'll spend some good quality time together. I think you guys are probably freaking out a little bit looking at the title of this episode about the hula hoop, but this is a really great concept. And I'm going to talk about this hula hoop. To some of you, I may sound like a crazy person, and that's fair. And some of you may be familiar with the saying, right? You can only control what fits inside your hula hoop. The only things that fit inside my hula hoop are me and Henry, my dog, or my boss, as I affectionately call him. So the only things I really have any power over are me and Henry. And we're going to get further into this and break it down in a few minutes. But first, I want to shout out to all of you who are getting the Recovery Starter Kit. I'm so excited for you guys to have your hands on this and to hear all the great feedback on how helpful it is. I want you to imagine what it would feel like to have a daily plan in place, support, guidance, and the exact action plan you need to stay sober. And what would that feel like? How good would that feel? How would that affect your confidence? And how would that affect your life? It's huge. And if we're 100% honest, if you don't have a plan, if you don't take action and do something to support your recovery, then you aren't feeling great, right? And what would it feel like to continue not having a plan and wake up 6 months from now in exactly the same place, hungover again, feeling terrible, hating life? I know that moment all too well. I remember the worst thing for me waking up in that hangover was just feeling disgusted with myself, and not even being able to figure out the first step to the first step. You've heard me say this before, I couldn't even figure out how to start stopping. And I desperately needed a plan, and I really needed somebody to guide me because I couldn't find my way out of a paper bag. I was a hot mess, my friends, and I would have loved something like the Recovery Starter Kit to guide me in that process. It's a super simple process. It doesn't take a ton of time. You don't have to go anywhere to use it. And you get to make your own rules. It's unfreaking believable. And that's when you get that self-confidence that you miss, and you get to feel good, and you're taking the right actions to be sober and feel happy. It's almost too easy. So anyway, I'll link to the Recovery Starter Kit in the show notes, and you can get right there from your podcast app. I'm just so excited that you guys are doing it and loving it. I mean, it is the plan that works for me, and I use it every day, and which is exactly why I put it in that format of a course, because I really thought if it was working for me, surely it would work for other people too. So I love that you're getting it. I love that you're loving it. And thank you for all the great feedback. And again, I will link to that in the show notes so you can get there right from your podcast app. Now, let's dive into your hula hoop and see how much stuff and how many people you're trying to cram in there and control. It's definitely no secret that I am a certified control freak. I don't necessarily have a desire to control other people, but I'm extremely driven to control myself, my surroundings, and my life, right? I think I let people go a long time ago, trying to control people, especially addicted people, because we are so stubborn and obstinate that the moment we feel like somebody's trying to control us, we freak out and throw some sort of temper tantrum. Maybe it's a screaming and yelling fit, or maybe it's the silent treatment or some good old-fashioned passive-aggressive BS, or picking a fight, or withholding affection. However the tantrum manifests, it's usually there if you look for it. So I really like to leave people alone. The world is challenging on 1,000 levels. It's challenging for me every single day. And what that tells me is that it's challenging for everyone else too. So to me, it just makes sense that I don't want to make your day or your life harder by judging you or criticizing you or being mad at you because you didn't do what I wanted you to. I don't want to get caught up in all of that stuff because all those responses are an attempt to control, right? I get mad at you and throw a fit because I want you to do something different and do it the way I want you to. So I don't want to control people. I want to make your life a better place by loving you and accepting you exactly as you are. And that's what I want in return. If I want to be accepted and I want people to be kind to me and patient with me as I work through my drama and trauma, then I am fully prepared to offer the same kindness, acceptance, and patience to you, right? And to everyone I see all the time. And I learned this lesson a long time ago, like when I was still really trapped in that victim mentality. And I thought every time someone didn't do what I wanted or they talked to me in a way I felt was unacceptable, I felt like it was this great injustice against me. You guys have heard me talk about this, and especially in that victim episode we did a while back. Like, how dare they do something I don't like, And my sponsor said to me once, he said, I want you to think about holding a hula hoop. I said, okay. He goes, what all fits inside your hula hoop? And I was like, what the hell is this dude talking about? And I looked at him and I said, me. To which he responded, exactly. And that's everything you have control of. So if it doesn't fit inside your hula hoop, leave it alone. And it was a moment that was equally frustrating and life-changing all at the same time. But I love to think about it in those super simple terms. If it doesn't fit in my hula hoop, I can't control it. And I don't need to expend a lot of time and energy trying to control it. Really, this is actually a huge relief because, to be honest, I am a full-time job, okay? I take a lot of work and I don't really have a ton of time to worry about everybody around me and trying to teach them a lesson or make them act the way I think is appropriate when I need to be focusing that energy on myself and my own growth. As frustrating as it is, we as people are perfectly allowed to have thoughts and opinions that disagree with you. I'm allowed to have my own opinion, and I'm allowed to talk about it whenever I want to and to anyone I choose. Just like our friends and family members and coworkers are allowed to disagree with us. It's not for us to judge their thoughts or opinions or to feel wounded when they have a different thought process or they do things a different way than we do. My responsibility is to make sure that I am being the best version of myself, to make sure I am being the person I want to be and affecting the world around me in a way that I'm proud of. As you see yourself standing inside your hula hoop, think about who you want to be. You've heard me talk about like my personal code of conduct, right? This is what I base my life and my person on: love, service, gratitude. First of all, gratitude will change your life. It's the easiest decision to make on a minute-by-minute basis. Am I being negative and nasty and judgmental? Or am I recognizing all the things I have to be grateful for in any given moment? I remember one time when I was living in LA, I was probably 25 or 26, and I was managing this amazing restaurant on Sunset Boulevard, and there was a group of servers standing around talking, like 3 or 4 girls, and they were talking about their hair, and each of the girls was pointing out something irritating about their hair and how frustrating it was. And we had one girl that worked for me from South Africa, and she had this beautiful accent and she was gorgeous, and she had caught a piece of the hair conversation. And as she walked by, she just kind of nonchalantly chimed in. She goes, "I'm just grateful I have hair." And she kept walking. And initially I thought it was kind of a weird comment, but later I asked her what she meant by that, like being grateful for hair. And she explained to me that only 2 years before that, she had been diagnosed with cancer and she lost all of her hair during chemo. Now, she didn't care what piece of hair curled the wrong direction or never laid down or frizzed in the humidity. She was just grateful to have hair at all. And what a beautiful lesson in gratitude. You know what I mean? We have this built-in sense of entitlement. Not only should we have hair, but that it should do exactly what we want and look the way we want, or we feel mad and cheated somehow. And by the way, I am guilty of this in an epic way because I've naturally curly hair that totally has a mind of its own. And it's similar to a chia pet, right? Where just a single drop of water makes it grow to epic proportions. And oftentimes I feel like my life kind of revolves around my hair and whatever mood my hair is in. And if it's a disaster, or if I went to the gym that day, I have to do certain things, or if I have to wash it that day, then I can't do any filming videos, and because I have to work around its process and it being presentable. So I can be really bad about this particular thing for sure. The truth is, I'm blessed with a phenomenal head of hair that is healthy and crazy, and there's enough of it for 3 people. And even when it's really pissing me off, I have to remember that my circumstances could be very different. And I get back in gratitude for the blessing of hair that pisses me off. Gratitude is a powerful decision, and it will absolutely change your life and change who you are as a human being. So inside my hula hoop, I make sure I'm in gratitude throughout the day. Some days are more of a struggle than others, and that's okay too. Because if you are trying even 10%, you're doing more than most people. But instead of focusing on others, you have to turn that focus on yourself and see who you are being and how you are being. And are you making yourself proud? Are you behaving in a way that you feel good about? We've talked before about getting really clear on your vision of yourself. What are the qualities of the human you want to be in the world? The parent you want to be, the spouse you want to be. Who do you want to be in your community? Is it patient, kind, honest? Do you want to be a person who is living with integrity? Do you want to be dependable? Do you want to be thought of as strong and capable? Do you want to be seen as open-minded and feel those things about yourself? Or do you want to be the person that blames everything on everyone else, who can never recognize their own part in anything or own it, who throws a fit and starts a fight as soon as something doesn't go their way? Is that who you want to be? When I recognized that was the person I was being, is when I started getting into some serious work on myself and taking responsibility for my part in every area of my life. I used to freak out the very second something didn't go my way, or the very second something happened that struck a chord of fear in me. That's really what it was more about, is when something happened that would make me fearful, I would just have this instant crazy reaction. And one time I was maybe a year sober and I was backing out of my garage. And for one split second, my car did this really weird thing when I was shifting. And it was literally 1 second. And for those of you that don't know, I'm a car fanatic. I grew up in a family of car people, although we like very different kinds of cars, but I am car crazy. I love cars. I follow cars as they're being developed. I go to the car shows. I'm car crazy. I had a really nice car. And I always had this incredible fear of something major going wrong with it because it would be super expensive to fix. So when that split second of my car shifting weird happened, it struck a chord of fear in me. Of course, I didn't recognize that in the moment, right? I just freaked out and threw a temper tantrum. And my sponsor called right as it happened. Now, that's a higher power moment, if there ever was one, right? He always called at the perfect moment. And as soon as I picked up the phone, I just started yelling and freaking out about my car, and my life was over, and the transmission's going out and it's going to cost thousands of dollars to fix it and I can't afford it. And I was just losing my mind, stuck in drama and chaos with the committee, right? Being completely irrational. My sponsor says to me, "Is it driving now?" And I said, "Yeah, it seems to be fine." Because by that time, after I'd been screaming and yelling to him for a few minutes, I was like off driving down the road and my car was fine. And when he said that, I started to feel a little embarrassed. And he calmly said, "Okay, why don't we see how it goes the rest of the day? And if it does it again, I know a guy who works on transmissions. And I think you have his number too, because it's your dad." And in that single moment of him just being rational, my fear started to fall away. Because if something major was wrong with my car, I would have figured out a solution, because I always figure out a solution. And he was right. My dad is a transmission guy. My biggest car fear on the planet is probably the most manageable thing that could go wrong. But the committee tells me it's worthy of a temper tantrum, because the committee needs me to be stuck in drama so it can run wild and continue to be in control. And I reacted like that to a lot of things, literally instant drama and chaos, forever trapped in fear of everything, fearful of people hurting me, fearful of people not liking me, fear of being broke or running out of money, fear of never accomplishing anything because I didn't know how, fear of never being anything. I was a giant ball of fear. And when your hula hoop is a place of fear and anxiety or anger and resentment with no plan or goals or action, it becomes a hostile environment. And when the hostile environment is inside your hula hoop, that means it's your responsibility to get that place cleaned up and figure out who you want to be, instead of who the committee has trained you to be. Start taking some solid daily action to feel better and be better. I cannot stress enough the daily action part. Small action every day will get you way farther than trying to make big, grandiose actions that are only sustainable for a minute. That's why I created all those tools at My Recovery Toolbox. Go over there, sign up for one of those tools to start taking action. www.myrecoverytoolbox.com. The Mindset Makeover has been super popular, and I want to make sure too, for those of you who have gotten the Mindset Makeover, it's a 5-day series of videos. I want to make sure that you're continuing to use them and listen to them on a daily basis. Are you? Or did you listen to them one time when you got the email that day and then stop listening to them, never listen to them again? I handpicked those 5 videos to appeal to different personality types and different learning styles, right? So choose the ones you like, save them, and listen to them every day. This is how you begin to retrain the committee. Take some time and think about the qualities of the person you want inside your hula hoop, and think about what that looks like in daily behavior. If you want to be dependable, that means you do things you say you're going to do. You call when you say you're going to call. Be on time. You get things done on time. You show up when you say you will, right? All of those actions are being dependable. If you want to build your personal integrity, that means you do the right thing all the time. You don't just do the right thing when it will get you praise or get you recognized or get you an ego boost or a little pat on the back. You do the right thing because it's the right thing. You do your best in everything you do. You go the extra mile because it's the right thing to do. That's integrity. It's not only doing the right thing when somebody's watching you, right? Or only doing the right thing When you're going to get some sort of accolade, you do the right thing because it's the right thing. Maybe you want to be less judgmental, more open and fair. That means you keep those negative thoughts about people and things to a minimum. Check yourself and see how critical you are of people and places. Like, do you have road rage, right? Are you critical of people driving? Are you critical of your house or things in your house or the people in your house and what they're doing? Are you critical of the food at the restaurant? When you get your food, you're already mad about how they do it or whatever. That negativity spreads like a fungus, and it will destroy you mentally and physically, because everything going on mentally will manifest in physical symptoms. When I'm depressed, my back pain is worse than ever. That's not coincidental, right? We are a machine and we are built to work together, right? All those pieces connect. You've heard me talk about this before too. I used to be super negative. Every sentence out of my mouth started with the words, I hate. I hate it when that thing happens. I hate it when they say that. I hate it when they do it like that. Or if it wasn't hate, it was I don't like, right? I mean, everything. I literally would complain about everything. I would complain about the food at the restaurant because I didn't like a certain thing on the plate. I would complain about my gym and how they organized the locker room. I would complain about every single thing in the world. And I realized that negativity drains the energy out of the room and all the people around me. Like, that negativity is exhausting. It's a total energy drain for me and everybody around me. And that is definitely not the person I want to be and not the effect I want to have on my surroundings. So look at your thoughts and your words and start looking for things to be happy about. Don't waste your time and energy focusing on the negative aspects. Focus on the good things. If you don't like a certain thing at the restaurant, move into gratitude that you're in a restaurant with family or friends. And there are a lot of people in the world that would love the opportunity to be in a restaurant with family and friends. All you have control over is what fits inside your hula hoop. Spend your time and your focus on what's inside the hula hoop instead of focusing on pointing fingers at everyone and everything outside the hula hoop. When I first started doing this work, I made a mind map. And you know what? I'm going to share my actual mind map because I still have it in a bunch of my coaching stuff. I'm going to dig out my mind map and I'm going to share a picture of my actual mind map in the Facebook group. So if you haven't joined the Facebook group, go over there and do that. Facebook.com/groups/Addiction Unlimited. And my mind map is a simple piece of paper where I did a little brainstorm, like, of all the qualities of the person I want to be. So when I start feeling off track or I start acting a little crazy, I can look over my mind map and I can see where I'm off and I can see which of those qualities I need to put some focus on and I can get my head right again. It allows me to get centered and remember my direction so I can start taking the right actions to get back going the right direction. There's nothing terrible about getting off track. There's nothing terrible about having a day where your attitude isn't great, or you're being a little snippy or snappy, or you're a little pissy, or you got your feelings hurt. All of that is completely normal. It's how we respond to those things and how we pick ourselves up. That's the part that's important. So don't freak out if you get off track. That's totally cool. We're humans. We're not going to do all this stuff right every day. I certainly don't. I promise you that. But I want your hula hoop to be an amazing and relaxing and comfortable place for you. I want it to be a place where you are proud to be there. I want you to be in your hula hoop going, hell yeah, people. This is the hula hoop I made. And feel good about yourself, right? The better you feel about yourself, the more you want to love yourself. And the more you want to love yourself, the better choices you make. And then addiction doesn't have a chance, right? Addiction can't battle all of that love and self-love and good decision making. Addiction can't thrive under those circumstances. It needs you to be down, right? So I want your hula hoop to be solid and feel good, where you can feel proud of it. And I know we'll probably have some great conversation about this in the Facebook group too when I post that mind map. So go over there and join it if you haven't. Facebook.com/groups/Addiction Unlimited. As usual, I will link to all the resources in the show notes, my recovery toolbox, where you can find a ton of support and resources, as well as all the different ways you can work with me directly to get faster results and feel better immediately and all that good stuff. And if you have questions and want more information about a program, schedule a free consultation with me and we'll get you whatever you need, right? It's right on the homepage at My Recovery Toolbox. Schedule a free 15-minute consultation. And if you don't follow me on Insta, please take a second and do that at Addiction Unlimited. I hope you are having a fantastic, sober day. I'm so proud of you for doing this thing and being willing to work on yourself and be a better human. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you next week.
You've reached the end of another great episode of the Addiction Unlimited podcast. Candid and honest conversation about addiction and recovery. Be sure to visit us at addictionunlimited.com to join the conversation and access show notes and links to everything we talked about. Love this episode? Please take 30 seconds to subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes to help us improve and give you the information you want. Thanks for listening. See you next week.